Right,
the world is
so 22nd evening, and Alex brought me to this little Mexican place, and I've been here before. Last time I came, I've been in this one before.
You want a michelada Corona too?
We're waiting for Mestre Digger. Right
where all this construction's going on right now.
This guy's Mestre Digger, Richie, and we've just met up in Fort Worth, near Dallas, and he subscribed to my channel. So we met up the first time. This is cool, and we're just having a Mexican meal. So we'll come back to you later when we've eaten something. So welcome to Cromwell 13649, Mr. Mestre Digger. Right, hello everybody. We're just on the way into Dallas, 23rd of November, day after Kennedy got shot. We're going into Dallas. We're going to do 2 memorial dinners today. I thought one was tomorrow. We're going to the one where I booked to see Beverly Oliver and Robert Groden. I've got my books with me, so I'll get them to sign them. And I just read all the messages you posted on YouTube for the last video. I want to thank everybody for being so nice. Some really nice comments, and I really appreciate it. So I want to shout out a few people, give you a shout out while we're on the way into Dallas. We'll be there in 20 minutes, so now's a good time as any to do it. So here's the shout outs. Wayne Smith in Canada. Yeah, I was thinking about you when I got to Toronto airport. Thanks a lot for your comment. Bell Guy, he gave me some good info on how to use the AT Pro. I appreciate that. Matthew File, NH Treasure Hunter, I guess the NH means New Hampshire. Phone Per, I don't know who that is. I don't know if I've spoke with you before, but thanks for your comment. 11 or 11 Robert 11 or 11 Robert 11. Thank you very much for your comment. Jet Ski John, I always get a nice comment off you, mate. I appreciate it. You're a nice guy. And if you've not seen Jet Ski John's videos, you should really look. He turns out some great stuff with his wife Jackie, and they're always there. Nice comments. Love you to pieces, you guys. Thanks a lot. David Sunrise Solara, that's my American friend from Mississippi, who lives in Vienna. I go out with him. A real gentleman. Love you to pieces, David. See you when I get back, mate. Steve Westy, Michael Swan, Delaware Digger. He's been looking at my YouTube videos for quite a while. Nice to hear from you again. Thanks a lot, mate. Super Drew, what about you, mate? I made you hungry, didn't I? You should get some videos out. Let's see what your Chinese looks like, Drew. See how your Chinese work out. I'd love to do that. See you later, mate. OCD Racer, is that? OCD Racer, thanks a lot for your comment. The Phil and Pam, thanks a lot for your comments. Love you guys. River Rat, he's been with me a while. 2013. B Murphy, Lee Hill, Manx 72. He's been looking for a while. Old Faithful 61, talk with him regular. Burville 100. I don't think you've been around long, but thanks for your comment, mate. Appreciate it. Who's that? Sondel Robbie. Yeah, I've spoke with you before. Dollar Sea Fluth or Sea Fluth, I never know how to pronounce it. Good to hear from you. Lyle 1. Lyle, I tried to answer your comment today and for some reason it won't let me answer you. So don't think I'm ignoring you. And it just says not allowed to comment. So I don't know if you've done something in your settings, but you know you're one of my favourite guys and I'd love to answer you. So have a look at your settings. Can't figure out why it won't let me answer you. Tantalic David, thanks for your comment. And another guy who's been with me a long time, love him to pieces, Mr. Crabbenay in Holland, another gentleman. Good to hear from you all, although I didn't get one from Mr. Crabbenay, but I'll give you a shout out, mate. So we're coming into Dallas in about 10 minutes and we'll bring some more video later. So we're back in Dallas Centre again and we're just looking for this place. Alex has found it on his GPS. It's a memorial dinner, JFK memorial dinner, where all the speakers are people who was involved with that particular event, or witnesses to it, or writers. So there's the school book depository again.
Let me show you something so you understand that.
Yeah.
Over there is Main Street, right?
Yeah, yeah.
See Main Street coming down? You say, why did he come over here a block?
Yeah.
Well, because when we get down here, look, this is the ramp to get on 35 to go back to Market Center.
Okay.
If you're on Main Street over here, even though we're side by side, you can't get over and get on. So that's why he was. That's why
I came that way.
Yes.
Yeah, we went that way with Steve yesterday. So now, essentially, we're going back the way we came now. Is that right?
No, if we got on the highway, we would be.
Okay. All right. So here we are at the Belmont. So now we're going to see all these famous people, I guess. Hello. You're going to be on YouTube. All right. No. I want you in there too. This is Alec and Jesse. These are the guys who picked me up at the airport with champagne on ice and KFC and video music and videos and music, and put me up at their place. Wonderful couple. They're coming over to see me next year. Okay, this is Paul Kunstler. He knows a lot, this guy does, and I'm enjoying myself talking to him. He's opened a few little cracks up for me to have a look into, which I'm going to do that. So I'm going to carry on talking to him and listening. There's Beverly Oliver there. She might speak to me. She probably don't remember me, but we'll be hearing from her later. It's dark because I'm against a light background. Hello, Beverly. How are you? Are you okay? You remember me? So she'll be speaking later, and I'll ask her if she'll sign my book for me.
We're gonna listen to some great speakers. Before we eat, I have asked Miss Beverly if she would say our prayer.
Beverly, thanks, Beverly. Beverly Oliver.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. His grace hath brought me safe.
So let's welcome Judith, and we're also going to start the buffet at the same time. So kind of do two things simultaneously, okay?
Okay, so this is Judith Baker. She was Lee Harvey Oswald's girlfriend, so she's going to speak. Roger Stone who wrote the book.
Thank you very much for having me. First of all, I want to thank Chris Gallup and Jill Hall and others for putting on this terrific meeting. Secondly, I want to thank Beverly Oliver for that beautiful song. I have written a book called The Man Who Killed Kennedy, The Case Against LBJ. Now, in my book, I have sought to build on the scholarship of others. I have enormous respect for a number of JFK researchers who have gone before me, and I have sought to build on that case. I do not argue that Lydon Baines Johnson acted alone or that he and his henchmen acted alone. Rather, I argue that he functioned as the linchpin of a plot that involved, yes, the Central Intelligence Agency, yes, some aspects of organized crime, most definitely big Texas oil, and the military-industrial complex, if you will. What it's important to recognize is a little bit of political history. Lydon Baines Johnson blackmailed his way onto the 1960 ticket. John Kennedy had already selected Senator Stuart Symington of Missouri for vice president. He had already offered the job to Symington and he had accepted. Symington was in his hotel room writing his acceptance speech when LBJ and House Speaker Sam Rayburn went to his hotel room late at night. And with them they had a dossier which they had gotten from J Edgar Hoover. J Edgar Hoover, the director of the FBI, was Lyndon Johnson's next door neighbor. From 1951 to 1963, the budget of the FBI tripled thanks to the Senate appropriations process. And J. Edgar Hoover knew that the Kennedys had every intention of retiring him at the mandatory retirement age of 70 in 1964. So the motive of J. Edgar Hoover is clear. LBJ goes to Kennedy with a dossier on Kennedy's sex life, specifically tying him to Ellen Romich, who was a Washington, D.C. based party girl, who we later learned is an East German spy. Very clearly she has had intimate relationships with JFK, among others. So ultimately, Kennedy relents, and Bobby Kennedy's brother, who is not in the meeting, is furious. Labor is furious. African Americans are furious. Progressives in the Democratic Party who supported JFK are furious because LBJ stands for everything they are against. Lyndon Johnson is a lifelong segregationist. He is the leader of the Southern Bloc. He has killed every civil rights bill except for the 1957 bill, and in that case he drops in a poison pill. Violate that law and you will be tried before a state jury, not a federal jury. There is no jury of white men in Mississippi who will convict a white man of offenses against a black person. So, Lyndon Johnson is asked the morning after, why would you give up one of the most powerful jobs in Washington? Senate Majority Leader, probably the second most powerful job in the country, to be Vice President. And Lyndon Johnson says, well, I checked, and 1 in 4 Vice Presidents have been elevated to the presidency when the president dies. Baker is in effect his partner and bagman. He has collected millions in bribes for Lyndon Johnson. In Senate testimony, Don Reynolds, an associate of Lyndon Johnson, says there were suitcases of money coming in and out of the Senate Majority Leader's office. Johnson has also got himself jammed up with Billy Sal Estes. Billy Sal Estes is a flamboyant, colorful Texas wheeler dealer. And he and Johnson have profiteered off of federal contracts that have been delivered by Lyndon Johnson, agricultural contracts. Lyndon Johnson knows that Robert Kennedy has given a full dossier on his problems to Time Life. He knows that Life magazine has 9 full-time investigative reporters on the ground here in Texas. And what do they find? In 1963, Lyndon Johnson is worth $25 million. He's been on the public payroll his entire life. That's $150 million in today's value. And Johnson knows that their expose issue is scheduled for December 1st. And it's the cover. And it's the end of Lyndon Johnson. It's not just that he would be dumped from the ticket. Indeed, President Kennedy tells Evelyn Lincoln, as reflected in her memoirs, on the eve of leaving for Dallas, that Johnson will not be on the ticket. Specifically, he says, I can't tell you who it will be, but it won't be Linda.
I'm not a researcher, I'm an eyewitness. And another thing, hey, Roger, before you leave, I just want you to know, Charles and I are in the oil business, but we're small oil, Texas oil people, not big ones.
Cooking oil.
So much for that song, it's beautiful.
On November the 22nd, 1963, I had the unpleasant experience of being standing on the south side of Elm Street as our president Franklin.
Hammer, and the hammer went through his hand right here. And when McDonald said, "I've got it," we all knew his voice. We knew it wasn't a strange voice.
We go back a long way.
We do.
We go back a long way with quite a few of you guys. It's good to see you. I've been talking about pretty much about the same things for quite a few years now, usually the photographic evidence. And, I have nothing to really show you right now.
Alright, we've left the other place now where Robert Groden and Beverly Oliver was. And this place here, this is the Texas Theatre. This is where Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested. And we're going to have a dinner in here, so I'm actually going to go in here where Lee Harvey Oswald got arrested. So let me just come outside here and turn around and show you. So this is it. So Lee Harvey Oswald went in there, didn't pay. Somebody reported him, and tons of police, loads of police just descended on this place and arrested him. So that is cool. So there it is from across the road. And we'll take a few stills now anyway, I think. Okay, so we're inside the theatre now and just turning round. So Mr. Oswald came through one of them doors there. I don't know if it was that side or that side, but this is inside the Texas Theatre. This is cool. I wonder if you can go inside and see the actual seat he was sitting in. That would be neat. Okay, so there's a picture of the cop standing by the seat that Oswald was sat in. 1, 2, 3 rows down, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 seats in. And there he is, the innocent man that's been made to look guilty, in my estimation. I'm not sure what that is. That looks like J.D. Tippett to me. I don't know. He's a policeman, I think. I don't know, what does it say up there? Can't read without glasses. Maybe you guys can see it. All interesting stuff. There's a picture of Mr. Kennedy and Mrs. Kennedy landing at the airport when they first arrived at Dallas. And there's the bastard that done it, just right behind, between Mrs. Kennedy and the other guy on the right there. He's just standing back there, Mr. Johnson, the guilty man. So look, we're going to go in and we're going to see the seat now where Oswald was sitting. I don't know if it's still preserved, but probably different seats. And I guess it was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, somewhere around here, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th seat along, I think, 3rd row down. So that's where Oswald was sitting. So we're going up there now. We've got a ticket for a buffet or some meal or something, and we're going to eat up there. I presume we've got places. So we must have, but where, I do not. Anyway, look, this is it. We're just leaving now. This is the cinema that Lee Harvey Oswald got arrested in. And look what they're playing tonight. That's ironic, that is, isn't it? They're playing JFK tonight. And we've just been in and seen them playing it, but we didn't buy tickets for it because I've got the DVD. This, so, Patton and 10th.
We're headed east, and it was 100 yards east of the intersection here.
Okay,
He
so
stopped and confronted him.
right, so somewhere about where that car is on the left. Yeah, this is only like 50 or 60 yards, I guess. So
Feet.
feet.
Right
Oh,
about here.
so about here. Okay, so I thought you said yards. Right, so yeah, somewhere round about here, this is where J.D. Tippett was shot. So that's an interesting fact. And we're going on somewhere else now. I don't know where we're going now, Alec. So now we're going over to Oswald's apartment where he used to live. Anyway, I wanted to tell you this. The bullet casings picked up, something happened to them. There was some, they didn't match Oswald's gun or something. There was something. I'll have to check that out. But I know there was something with the bullet casings. And the chain of evidence was not preserved properly, so they couldn't be admitted as evidence. We're going to go over now to where Oswald used to live. Right, so now we're on Elsbeth Avenue, Oak Cliff, and somewhere here he's pulling into a car lot.
This was where it was at. This was where the building was.
This is where the building was, where this car lot is. And this is where Oswald lived. So it's literally 2 minutes away from where J.D. Tippett, 2 minutes by car that is, where Tippett was shot. It's right. So now we're going to see the Carousel Club, where Jack Ruby had a club. No, but I will do.
Ackerd Street's this corner. This empty spot right here is where it used to be.
Oh right, so it's right there where this bus is basically. So that's where the Carousel Club was, the strip club that Jack Ruby owned.
So,
right, so
looking for the garage,
and it'll be there. Look, that's it. This is it here. I recognise it. There, look, right there.
That is it.
So there's the garage entrance down there, where it said that Jack Ruby walked down there. Can you see it? And shot Oswald. So that's where Oswald was shot by Ruby. Alright, this is the last bit of film I'm going to take tonight. This is a Parkland Hospital emergency entrance where they brought JFK. So there you can see it, look, and there you can see what it says up there. I don't know if you can see that, Parkland Emergency and Trauma. So this is where they would have brought JFK. And then he was announced dead. So we're at Love Field, Airfield. This is where they landed, and this is where they took off, and where the LBJ was sworn in on the plane. So, and there it is, look, Dallas Love Field. This is where JFK landed, and where they took his body back, and where LBJ was sworn in.
That's all, folks.